Where do you start if you want to change the world? Is it by seeing a nation become energy self-sufficient? Helping charities to be as productive as businesses? By using their talents to give them a livelihood. Big changes like these can start with something small, like asking better questions. So where do you start if you want to change the world? You start right here.
Good evening. Welcome back to Bigchief Channel. For another episode on this Thursday, we have Jon Tan, our brand strategist, to share with us another content on brand strategy for your own business. So, what do you have for us today, John?
First of all, welcome all members of the audience, especially those who I would use the word dutifully present every day. That is amazing. So welcome
Yeah, man.
all. Today we'll continue as we started 8 sessions back on how you can create your own brand strategy without a consultant. So how much money you will save. Huh? Today we shall talk about creating your content strategy as part of brand communication.
Yeah. So last week we spoke about your the topic, and we got a very we got a glimpse on roughly how much you're going to spend, whether the budget will be big, small, and you were quoting nothing less than a five-figure budget or something like that, right?
Minimum 1 to 5%, depending on
Yeah.
the outlook of the brand. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's why.
generally, the American brands are very, very great believers of communication and advertising.
Yeah. That's why coming back here to this Big Chief channel, you will definitely get more than you deserve. Yeah. We have so many specialists here giving you tips and hacks, for your branding needs, right? So I'm sure we have a lot in the bag today from John, and yeah, let's get it started. All right. Today we are talking about the brand content strategy. Yeah, John.
Yep.
Right. So, um, have you break it down on a different pointers that you'll be
Yeah,
sharing
the
with us?
four key pointers we will cover under how to come up with your content strategy. Huh? And just to backtrack, last week we started on brand communication.
Yeah.
There are three three key elements of brand strategy. First is a brand identity, which covered some time ago, and then brand management, and thirdly, brand community. So last week we covered the use of macro mode. Macro mode will be advertising, PR, events and experiences, sales in terms of hardcore, and then micro in terms of one-on-one or one-to-one, personal selling and direct marketing. Today, before we do any brand communication, we should actually work out for our brand the content strategy. So the four key pointers today we can cover, Leonard, will be one, the buyer persona coming from the target audience. Secondly, the customer journey, which part of the journey the customer is on. So you have to do copywriting and visual accordingly. And the third pointer will be create a content ideation system, not only for just next week, what should we do, but preferably for 1 year, if not at least 1 quarter, 3 months ahead. And then the fourth is, how is the ROI of what you are doing and what you will be doing? We need to measure the content success. So Leonard,
Yeah.
we will
So
now
yeah, before we start to present your case, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yep.
Now, there are many business are already running, all
Hmm.
right, or many people are already in a business.
Yep.
Now, what should they do? Should they stop all marketing activities and start to do the planning first, or they should do whatever they're doing and like plan for the next 6 months, then only they'll implement for the next 6 months? Yeah, there's always the chicken and egg first, you know?
Yeah. That is a magical question. Thanks, Leonard, for that. Now, what we are doing now generally could be not on the right path. Worse still is ad hoc.
Yep.
ADHOC. Ad hoc means do whatever first lah, and let's figure out the next time. That's wrong. So do we stop whatever we're doing and now take some time off to re-strategize? If we can take some time off, because if you're there is a famous Scandinavian saying, if you're on the wrong path, no matter how far you have gone, stop and come back. Right? If you're on the right path, although you're a long way to go, keep going. So that is a very good saying. Get to the right path. Yeah, as we
So
said,
can I
strategize.
simply say,
Yep.
slow and steady win the race? Huh?
Yeah, slow and steady win the race, provided you're on strategy, isn't it? You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
on strategy like the hare, HARE. Simply run fast, 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 and then ayo, the tortoise so slow. I take a rest, so he lost the race. Not on strategy, right?
Yeah, wow, wow, yeah, that's very good insight, very good insight.
Yeah.
So meaning, I'm sure many business people, entrepreneurs are already doing what they're doing, but they may not be seeing the results that they wanted. So
Hmm.
they should reflect back and they should take a step back and rethink what they should do in the coming time, right?
Yep.
Plan forward, yeah, plan
Yeah.
ahead.
Hmm.
Right, great,
Yeah,
great, great.
I can almost guarantee your ROI, return on investment, will be many times better if we work on these four key pointers.
Yeah. So just recap back. Today we're going to talk about four key points here. Number one is the buyer persona,
Yep.
and we will talk about the customer journey, yeah, and also creating content ideation system. Well, this is a big jargon for me, yeah. And number
Mm.
four would be the identify the metrics of measuring content success. Okay, great. Let's start with number one. So what's this the buyer persona?
The buyer persona simply means your target audience.
All
Yeah,
right.
your target audience. But the thing is, sadly, a lot of brands, a lot of companies, whether corporate or on a personal level, they do not study enough. The right term to use is they do not have an intimate knowledge of the target audience. So it's important to have an intimate knowledge of your target audience. Exactly what do they look for, more so on the emotional side. Yeah,
I'm sure.
emotional and psychosocial. It is proven time and again, people, whether men or women, buy things on emotion, not
Yeah.
on thinking, oh, I think this brand is suitable for me, or I think this look is good for me. That is the justification. The real trigger is emotion. I want it. Now, emotional is I want it, I feel good, I deserve it. Psychosocial is something that we must take note of. Psychosocial refers to actually how people will look at me, how people will gauge me. It's easier said than done to have self-esteem and don't care about what people think about me. Yeah? But this world is as such as we are impressionable, and we like to impress people, like it or not, especially when we are in business. You got to do the right things, wear the right things, use the right things in terms of brand and the product and service. So get to know the emotional and psychosocial concern of your target audience and create the buyer persona. Few key pointers. This is a quite a deep area to know your target persona, but trust me, if you know your target persona very well, you will have excellent results with your brand communication, advertising, etc. Few key pointers will get us on the right track. Number one, what are their values? What's important to your target person? Number two, what is the overall personality of your target person? Number three, what is the level of expectation of your target person? High, mid, low. Number four, how would they see their future, their aspiration, yeah? And with these four key pointers, you'll be able to shape the buyer persona. Plus fifth one, which is an extension of the values, personality, and so forth, the places they go to, the things they do, you know.
I remember someone mentioning this called what is your customer's avatar?
Yeah, customer avatar is similar,
It's
buyer
similar.
persona.
So meaning you have to imagine who is the person buying from you.
Mm.
What is the
because
shape?
because
Uh,
if we use an avatar, right, because all of us got an avatar on our social media account, right?
yeah,
Some simply do, and some, God bless them, they keep changing their image all the time, right? It's
yeah.
not good. You keep it on same all the time. Your photo, in fact, keep it on one for all social media, so that that same face register with people, create awareness, create recognition.
So just now when you're talking about the buyer persona, you are trying to imagine. You're trying to imagine your customers' emotion, your customers' well-being, your customers' behavior. What type of
more than
person
more than imagine, we do research.
research?
Yeah, if we can afford the fund,
Factual, yeah.
we engage research firms. Of course, research firms got many category. The global ones, of course, charge a lot. And then there are Malaysian research firms with bosses who work at global firms before and hate their company. They charge only a fraction, so it's worthwhile. Yeah.
So when you're talking about research, yeah, how big a research should be?
We should have focus group depending on how much budget research firm based on how much you can afford, then the number of the size of the people you use talk to, the respondents will increase, right?
Mhm.
So they will set up focus group, very well
Define group.
define the focus group. If not, if we cannot afford that, you could even have a simple test group. Huh? But it's best to be well defined. You use the right term,
Now,
because
I'll throw you another curveball. Yeah,
ah
I have a friend who did recommended or he was thinking to start a business, and I was telling him about researching your customers. So he was
mm,
saying, well, can we do something like calling your friends, your near friends, because we don't have big budget. You know,
mm.
calling your friends, a group of your friends, to sit down and you do a direct survey with them. Will that help?
It can help to a certain extent,
Mhm.
provided you choose the friends who are related to the target audience you're selling to. Yeah.
I see.
For instance, if you coming out a designer brand,
Uh-huh.
you don't pick on friends you're close with and they're not interested in designer brand, isn't it?
Yes, yes, good hint, good hint. So if you are
Uh,
doing a food survey, you also have to identify whether your friend likes that kind of food, right?
like the kind of food or not, apart from being foodie, right?
Yeah.
Some people,
Foodie is so
some people
big.
are,
Yeah.
some people are so strange, not being
Yeah.
judgmental.
Hmm.
Years ago, I have a friend, a lady friend whose boyfriend
Yeah.
never eat Western food, never.
Never.
Uh, One day they
Wow.
got very close, but the woman cannot tahan, so they split.
I see. But would you
It's
be
a, it's a
worried?
it's a free world. People
Yeah.
choose whatever they want. The point is choose the right person for your survey.
But obviously, you should tell your friends expecting a honest feedback rather than no, I think it's good. I think sometimes friends trying to be nice. Just want to.
Any study, any test case, you come up with the criteria,
Mm,
criteria of the respondent. Yeah.
wow, fantastic. So meaning for people who does not have a big or deep pocket, they can
Hmm.
still do some research. But the
Yeah.
idea is do some research. Yeah, do some
Yeah,
research, right?
you can
Mhm.
because I work for very large mainstream advertising firms before, right?
Yeah.
But there were some companies who were not so big, because those are global company, global brand we work for. There were
Mhm.
times where there's some local SME and later became public. They couldn't afford the budget. So we do some simple what we call dipstick survey, DIPSTICK. But again, you choose it carefully. It can bring in some useful knowledge.
Oh, deep stick, huh?
Dipstick.
Are you going to
Just like the
elaborate?
term, you just dip it and test. Lah.
Deep stick. Like you see the engine lah, see the
uh,
oil level lah.
test
Alright.
yourself. Uh, test
Very good,
yourself.
very good.
Call in the mechanic.
Okay, wow, that's a very good tip, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then we will continue talking about your target customer journey.
Customer journey. Now,
Yeah.
customer journey is something a lot of brand, the ad agency, the PR firm overlook, and then the brand owners and managers executives overlook. That's dangerous because we cannot write the same copy for everyone. In mainstream advertising, we use the term copy, COPY, from copywriting. It means the text you use, the content, the concept you use. So there are usually referred to as 5 stages, but 3 stages were good enough. First, let's say public speaking. I have no idea what public speaking is about and how it's useful to me. So that's the first stage. If you write to this person, you have to tell the person what would be the key benefit to his life, confidence, etc., etc., as well as he will get promotion faster, become a leader faster, and so on. The second stage is, okay, I know about this. Now I want to source for the company or the brand that can help me with public speaking skills. All right. Then the third stage is, all right, I decided I really want to take up public speaking. Which company will I go for? That's what we call the killer stage. That's you
Mhm.
prove yourself that out of, look at insurance example. Is it AIA or Prudential or Great Eastern example, right? There are many brands, let's say three. So finally the person consider three. That's the third stage. Then
Okay lah.
if on AIA, you give your full pitch on that, why you're better and why your areas are not as strong. I mean, truthful advertising always works. We don't have everything for everyone. So that type of copywriting works magic. For simple reason, you're telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so the
And for
customer
for that
must,
copywriting,
yeah.
I think people always miss one step is that they do not seek professional copywriters.
Yeah. How do you mean by that? Professional copywriters.
I yeah, I know a few copywriters and they are struggling to make ends meet, you know. Or because I know people are trying to skim on budget, you know, and
Ah.
they write their own copy, they do their own
Oh,
copywriting, you know.
all these are allow me to correct, pseudo professional,
So,
PSEUDO. They pretend to be professional.
yeah.
Uh, there are so many online courses how to do copywriting, and tell the bosses, the manager, do your own copywriting. Nah, trust me, I spent years learning under my mentors to be a strong copywriter. Make some mistake initially and learn to be a strong copywriter in the industry with first heavyweight.
Yeah,
It takes time. Huh? It takes time.
yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of practice, yeah, and
Mm.
experience. The right words, how you phrase it,
Yeah,
you
first
know.
of all, we should be have key interest in the language, whichever the
Yeah,
language.
yeah,
Number
yeah,
two,
exactly.
psychology. We
Yeah,
need to know human psychology. Huh?
yeah,
Yeah. And number three, we need great empathy for the customer.
empathy.
Write for the customer. Don't write to sell, sell, sell.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. I think there's a lot for the audience today. Yeah. I think
Hmm.
there's a lot for the audience today. Like to mention, we have Christine, we have Anthony, Christopher, Patricia. Welcome. I hope you are all picking up a lot of notes today. If you do like this show, please help us to give a thumbs up, like this show, or share it with your friends. Hope they will learn something for their business, and we can grow together. And great, let's talk about the third point since the time is running out. The third point is creating content ideation system.
Yep.
Now this one beats me. Please elaborate.
Let's break down. Content is whatever you put into your communication. Whatever you put in the communication. The word content came about only popular the last 10 years. Prior to that, nobody referred to content. They refer to your advertising and promotion. So now whatever you put out to the marketplace, whether online and offline, is known as content. And of course today the best way for content is use story, but when we won't cover that in another two episode, which will cover how to do the right emotive storytelling. Ideation comes from the word idea. You need an idea and then a system. Because these pointers, Elena, we're going to put into a document, brand content strategy for everyone in the organization to know, and later creative team usually comprises the creative director, the copywriter, the art director, the visualizer, and so forth. They can follow through, yeah, because let's say you do for BMW has been doing advertising for so many decades. A new creative team come on, they can do similar type of messaging because of ideation system. So let's start with the reason why we should have a content ideation system. Content ideation system, as I broadly touched base just now, is something you work out your possible ideas for the whole year. If not, at least for the 1/4 of the year, 3 months ahead. So we work ahead, right? Of course, later, these are strategic ideas. Later, we will tactical. Sometimes the market environment changes. Like for instance, a very well-known case, Chernobyl nuclear leakage in the Russia many years ago. That time, the New Zealand brand, Australian brand, they're not in Europe. They come up with tactical advertising because they're not affected by the nuclear leak. So tactical are useful as well. Let's stick with strategic content ideation. So at least 1/4 of the year, 3 months ahead, what to do for the next 3 months ahead? We plan, right?
Yeah. For the content, so meaning the content must also in line with your point number one, your buyer persona,
Yes.
because all these links together from
It
your buyer
always starts with
persona,
it
your
always starts with the target audience, isn't it? And
yeah,
of course,
yeah.
together with this, what can our brand offer? The brand offerings. Then what does the target person want and desire? So we match the two together. Yeah.
So I'll throw you a curveball now. I'll throw you a curveball.
Yep.
So you have already planned step one, you plan step two, and when you're going to your step three, you found that hey, something is not right. Do you go back to plan one, your step one, and do some changes?
Definitely so. Definitely so. Because the target audience is very, very important, the buyer persona. In fact, we shouldn't even move on to step two or
Mm.
step three unless we get the target audience as perfect as possible. As perfect as possible.
So that one also the target audience will also affect how you like that for the topic that we have discussed last week, how
Mm,
you design your company outlook, your branding, the
yeah.
colors, the
Mm.
design, everything.
Yeah, it
Wow,
always starts with your target audience desires and emotions and psychosocial concern. It always.
that sounds like a lot of work, yeah, brother.
Oh, definitely. But I always use a saying. It's not mine.
Mhm.
It's a very long. A saying came up that long ago. Think big, start small.
So
Think big,
I
start
will
small step at a time. Yeah.
add one little advice to you to the audience who is interested in branding. If you put priority in branding,
Hmm.
please hire a professional, or at least please speak with John Tan before you proceed with anything.
There are
All right?
many good professional brand strategists around. Huh?
Yeah, but we have one here already. Yeah,
Yeah, and Bigchief Channel is a very generous channel. Talk to me if you want any
and you
complimentary.
are going to place you're going to place your contact number here for the audience.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone you just have a chat with you like to have a chat with John Tan, you can always chat on our comments bar. John Tan, would you have the honor to put your contact email or number there so that they can maybe start something or start something from a chat with you.
Mm.
Who knows,
I,
something
I
beautiful
could not
may
put
turn up.
the comments. Leonard, could you put for me zero one
Oh,
two
yep, 012
two one seven
217
3511?
3511. Yeah, I'll repeat it.
JONTAN.
Yes, zero one
JONTAN.
two two one seven 3511.
Yep.
Yes, there you go. So if you can't or you have no idea or nothing at all, you need some inspiration, just give our man a call. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could WhatsApp me. You said
Yeah.
you heard about us from Big Chief Channel. WhatsApp me. I can also help
Yeah.
you with your
Awesome.
queries. Huh?
Awesome. Awesome.
Right.
All right. We will go to the final point of the day,
Yep.
which is identify metrics for the measuring content success. Yeah.
Yep. Now, the big term is, of course, is used all the time. ROI, return on investment. We've done our best to come up with the brand persona, the target audience, emotional, psychological, psychosocial concerns. We want to tailor them as much as we can. We write copy according to the customer journey from no knowledge of what your brand can offer to now I know what it can offer me, and third, which company or brand or product service do I want, and then third one, you have idea coming throughout the year. Then the big question mark is, which of your output were successful, which of your output were quite successful, and which of your output may not be successful. All right. So you need to measure your content success. That's what we mean by metrics of measuring content success.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you measure? You just because if you have implemented a few plans, you have implemented different things, you wouldn't know which one is the one that is really helping you.
Oh, today online especially, today
Mm.
online especially, they are very friendly because why they are friendly? Because they're very advertising oriented, whether on Google service or social media, they will help you to come up with the possible analysis. Example, what is the number of traffic coming to your website, or the number of traffic coming to a specific ad? How many leads are created, LEADS, how many potential customers created? And then from there, you yourself will do your homework. How many of these leads are converted into buyers, or purchasers, and become part of your brand community, isn't it?
I see. Yeah. All this comes
Through that, through that,
comes
how many converted versus how much money you spend becomes your ROI.
and I heard nowadays is not cheap, man.
Now, depending which social media
Platform,
you use, yeah,
yeah,
some platform are still very affordable
affordable.
compared to those days. Those
Yeah,
days, without online, you put out an a TV commercial. Today we popularly use the term video. Is cost few hundred K, few
yeah.
hundred K for just one insertion.
One insertion, yeah.
Yeah,
One
we,
insertion means, let's say you're watching an 8:30 show,
mm,
and your advertisement comes out during that 1 hour show,
mm,
multiple times.
yeah. Just multiple time there's a package. Of course,
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's 30K or 50K.
Yeah.
Today, if you were to advertise in the USA Super Bowl, the
Mm.
American football, just for 30 seconds, it's 30 million USA, US dollars.
30 million for 30 seconds of.
US dollars. Of course,
Woo.
it's us to 50 states, and yeah,
Yeah.
50 states,
Wow.
and that is that is in our money 120 million ringgit for 30 seconds. So online is so much more affordable.
So much more affordable. Oh yeah. It's peanuts then, I would say.
Well, peanuts if you have some nuts. You have no nuts at all, then. Uh, but then a lot of social media platform offers you a lot of free media, a lot of free media.
Mhm.
For
Yeah.
instance, a Facebook page is free.
Yeah.
You can do brilliant advertising PR through your Facebook page, not necessary to go into the premium account.
Yeah. Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Time passes so fast. It's already 9 p.m.
Hmm.
Today was a very, very insightful topic. Yeah, there was 4 points that we have brought up, and I'm sure these 4 points are already worth your 5 figure. Right? If you get the point.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you can always watch back. We are at Bigchief Channel, Facebook, and also YouTube. And if you do have any questions, please put it down in the comment, or you can directly contact Jon Tan and indicate that you saw him in Big Chief Channel, and he will gladly entertain you
Yeah.
for 30 seconds.
Yeah. More than that. And do remember to drop by again next week. Next week we will
Yeah,
continue the conversation. We're going to transmedia, TRANSMEDIA, meaning there are many types of media, and therefore many types of way we should do our storytelling. Of course,
fantastic,
today the
fantastic.
trend is to use storytelling. So
Yeah,
we start with storytelling, but next week we cover the different forms of media. online and offline. We must know different forms of media. Then only we can write accordingly.
So, your audience, do you hear that? Next week, come back. All right,
Mm.
come back, and you will learn about the killer story. Right, the storytelling, how to use the story to touch your customer's emotion, touch
Yeah,
them, yeah, so that they
different.
will follow you wherever you go. Yeah, wow, great. So thank you, John Tan, once again for your generous time. Thank you thank you the audience for being with us today, and we will be here from every Monday to Friday, 8:30 p.m. Bigchief Channel for Facebook and YouTube, and we'll hope to see you back again next week for another episode of Branding Yourself by John Tan. Yeah. Good night, everyone. Good night, John.
Good night and
Ciao.
how. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.